story of having it all. That's what they asked me to come here and talk about today. And as I started to think about it, I first had to ask, can you really have it all? Do I? Really? The truth is, it's hard to have it all, especially when you're a mother and a wife, and when you have a full-time job in a demanding field like technology. And there are those who will tell you that even if you think you do, you must be doing that by either being an inferior mom or an inattentive wife or an incompetent worker, because you just simply can't have it all otherwise. And despite the title of this speech, I decidedly do not have it all. I have many interests and very few well-developed hobbies. I don't sleep enough, and when I do, it's not usually very well. I don't have a fitness plan that matches my desired fitness level. I don't read as much as I'd like to. The list goes on and on. But what I know you can have is a life that's well-crafted and well-balanced specifically for you. And in my case, that means being the nurturing and deeply involved mother to 4 brilliant, lovely, and also sometimes exhausting children. It means being a travel-loving, lifelong friend and wife to my husband. And it means performing the challenging and energizing job as an officer of technology at Target. And it's not everything, but it's a whole lot, and it's enough. And in my pursuit of having enough, I've learned a few good lessons, and I want to share just a couple of those. So first of all, if you're going to try to have a lot, even if it's not everything, you can't do it by yourself. You're going to need people. You're going to need mentors and advocates, role models, a community, even girlfriends to have a glass of wine with every now and then. You're going to need these people probably more than you think you will, and I am very lucky because I have a lot of them. People like my grandma Vicky. At 95, she remains a powerhouse and the matriarch of a big family. And with 13 grandchildren and 18 great-grandchildren and counting, I do mean a big family. Grandma Vicky was the only daughter in a family that had 11 sons. Right. She dropped out of school at 15 to stay home and take care of her brothers and their home. And in so many ways, she had very few choices. She never resented that, but she did want her children to have more. And today, all 5 of them are college-educated professionals. From an early age, my grandma taught me to be tough, to be ambitious, but also to be exactly who I am. Then I was a little girl who loved math and science, who was a voracious reader, who liked to do logic puzzles for fun, even if everyone else thought that was weird. Later on, Grandma Vicky's daughter, my mom, became my strongest advocate as I was finding my way through college. She had to use a little tough love every now and then, even telling me I should stop playing around and start doing something that I actually loved and take a computer science course. And as is often the case with moms, she was right. And in that first computer science class, I was lucky enough to come under the instruction of Barbara Kaiser. She's a computer science professor who saw potential in me, so much so that she nearly forced me to apply for a fellowship where I got to work on a project with NASA where we used neural networks to study the flames coming out of space shuttle to try to detect engine anomalies. And that experience sealed the deal for me. I loved solving problems with technology. Sometimes you'll be lucky enough to have role models and advocates and mentors that are within easy reach, like a parent or a teacher. But other times you're going to have to go out and find them because you're going to need these people to create sustained success. And then at some point, you'll get to be that person for somebody else. I often think about my grandma, my mom, and Professor Kaiser when I am raising my children, teaching my children, or inspiring my team, and I think, how can I pay this forward? Another lesson I've learned on my career journey is that being underestimated can lead to a great advantage. When you're a woman in technology, you will often be the only one. And for me, that was especially true in college. I was the only woman in the class. I was the only one who didn't like battle-based video games, etc. It can be lonely, being the only. And on many occasions, I asked myself, do I even belong here at all? But with the benefit of time and perspective, I know that being the only also gave me some other things. When I took my first job as a web developer for a small company, I was one of the only women on the team. And I was also young and inexperienced, and that meant I was often relegated to being the coffee fetcher or the note taker. And most of my work was the assignments nobody else wanted. And those experiences, they were frustrating and even sometimes exhausting, but they also gave me some really incredible advantages. By being outside of that circle, I was able to see the problems we were solving with a different perspective. It was during that time that I really came to appreciate the perspective of the user, and I developed an expertise in UI UX. And that put me in high demand with our consulting clients because this was a specialty that was just emerging. And by taking assignments that nobody else wanted, I got a body of experience that nobody else had. And through those experiences, I developed a deep passion and commitment for how I think teams work best. So much so that I was invited to consult globally on this for Fortune 100 customers. For me, being underestimated is like a shot in the arm of adrenaline, whether it's because I just want to prove those doubters wrong, or that I actually just want to solve the problem first and fastest and best because I can, and it's just fun. I've learned that I work well under pressure. I'm at my best when nobody expects me to win. And that insight has set my career on a trajectory. I like to work on problems that nobody's ever solved. I like to do the jobs nobody else wants to do. I'm a natural risk taker. I'm not afraid of failing. And that's a skill that's been especially useful working for Target, a company that really recognizes and rewards and supports risk takers. Here's an example. Recently, my team has been working on a new inventory management system to support a new type of distribution network. One where we ship products to the store in exactly the quantities and timing that they want, already pre-sorted for the aisle and shelf location. This is a big change. Target historically sends a whole lot of product in big boxes, randomly shoveled onto trucks. But the tech we build, it's working. The stores where we're piloting this are already seeing reduced out of stocks on their shelves while also reducing the inventory levels in the store in total. And of course, every Target risk doesn't turn out like this, but many of them do. And either way, by being on the ride, I get some incredible learning, and that's inspiring to me, both as a team member and a leader, and even as a mom. Because that ability to be a motivated underdog, it comes in really handy at home. Many of you may be able to relate. Being a parent is both the most rewarding, but also the most challenging job you'll ever do. And that brings me to my final lesson. Work-life balance, to me, means using the best of both work and life to improve the picture of who I am and who I want to become. As my career has advanced into technology leadership roles, I stopped worrying about who was underestimating me, and I started worrying about who I want to be. And I made a decision. I want to be a mom. And that choice has brought some other interesting challenges. Perhaps you can relate. I'm always late. I almost always have some form of a cold virus. I frequently am making choices between work and kids' activities and then questioning whether I made the right choice. But even with those challenges, being a working mom, it's forced balance into my life, whether I wanted it or not. It gives me a place to use every one of my strengths. And there's always a refuge on the other side, whether that's at work or at home, when I need to rebalance or recenter. I have made significant business decisions, sorry about this, Mike, with a iPhone on my ear while cleaning up a mess or trying to keep a toddler from jumping off of something. And on the other hand, I've also paused when I'm in my office or in the boardroom ahead of an important strategic decision and thought to myself, well, what do my kids expect me to do? Or my mom or my grandma? Balance is about bringing all of you to all of your life, and that can be messy. But it's made me a better leader. I've learned to be more compassionate and to understand the individual things that every person on my team needs. I have more patience than I ever would have thought possible. And I've learned that sometimes you need it all. And I've learned to stop apologizing for where I need to be or how I prioritize my time, because I know being a mom makes me better at work. And working makes me a better mom. And the people in my life and my career who really matter, they will see that over time, even if they don't in the moment. And I try to only apologize for the things that I actually want and mean to change. And that brings me to today. All of these experiences, the growing pains, the moments of unfairness, the opportunities, the mentors, the lessons, the growth, they've brought me here. I'm an officer of technology at a Fortune 100 company. I lead a team of 350 engineers all around the world who build great technology, who are solving complex problems every day. I'm part of a team that challenges me to continue improving, a team that teaches me every day while still supporting me and letting me know it's okay to be intentional about being my best self. And perhaps best of all, through events like this, I get to participate in an industry and a community that I love, and I get to interact with young women like yourselves and share some of my life's lessons, even while I'm still learning new ones. So at the end of the day, do I have it all? No, I don't. Do I even want it all? Not really, because I have what actually matters most, including the experience and the journey that brought me here. Working hard, building a career, and being part of a dynamic family, that is not too much to ask. So I'm going to keep loving what I have, taking every opportunity to get something more, and being exactly who I am. And maybe that is having it all. But what I can tell you for sure is it's enough. Thank you.